Hi there, maybe you've heard of flipped classrooms. Over the last 20 years, technology is better developed so that we can improve learning. One of the ways we improve learning is through flipped classrooms. This is where we take the direct instruction from a group learning space into the individual learning space. This leaves the teacher able to engage deeper with the students in the group learning space in more dynamic ways. This presentation, we're going to be talking about some statistics behind flipped learning, as well as the benefits, how to, and lastly, finishing up with the issues surrounding flipped classrooms.
So let's look at the flipped PowerPoint and how to flip your lecture slides. And the first thing you really want to know is, why would you flip your classroom? So let's look at some statistics. Now, it's found that 96% of teachers who have flipped their classroom and used the flipped model would thoroughly recommend it. So that's a ringing endorsement. 9 out of 10 teachers noticed a positive change in their students, and 71% of teachers found that students improved their grades when utilising the flipped classroom model. Scott Freeman from the University of Washington found that in his biology courses, the failure rate reduced from 17% down to 4%, and the number of students achieving an A level increased from 14% up to 24%. Instructors at the University of British Columbia found that attendance increased by 20% and engagement increased by 40%. They also found that students achieved 67% of students achieved higher on their test scores, and 80% improved their attitudes. And this was mostly amongst advanced and special needs students. A high school in Michigan found that in the first year maths course, the failure rate decreased from 44% to 13% in 1 year. So there's some statistics which are a ringing endorsement for the flipped classroom model. But let's look at some further benefits of flipping your classroom. The most obvious benefit is that it saves time in the classroom, and it gives you more time for discussion. If your students are consuming the content outside of class, then obviously you have more time in class for discussion, to go deeper into learning with higher level discussions. And also in doing this, you build greater relationships with your students. There are multiple uses for your flipped presentations though. If you have your classroom flipped onto video, there are further uses. For example, you can use it for tutoring. If a student misses a class for whatever reason, they can catch up by watching the video. Also, if students have questions, instead of asking you and you have to again and again repeat the teaching, you can just point them to the video and they can consume that video again, they can re-look at it and learn in their own time, and this releases you to do other things with other students. You can differentiate 100% of your classroom. Every student can be at a different level if that's how your class can work, if that's how you'd like it to work. Maths, for example, can work this way. Every student can be at a different level and they can be consuming videos in their own time and doing the work in that manner. The mobile phone is the device of choice for young people today, and if you can provide the flipped classroom videos in a format that can be consumed on the mobile phone, like via YouTube for example, then they can consume it at lunchtime, in the schoolyard, on the bus, at home, in the evening with friends, wherever they are. They will have their mobile phone and they can consume those videos, and that's a bonus. Let's now look at several ways how to create a flipped classroom video. We'll look at 3 ways. Firstly, the video lecture, the video PowerPoint, and then what we call the talking head. So the video lecture is simply you on a whiteboard. You might do it with a mobile phone. We used a small tripod sitting on a chair, sitting on a table. And that's how we videoed Ben here in front of the whiteboard, and this is simply the video lecture. You giving a lecture and you video yourself talking to your camera. Secondly, you can video a PowerPoint. That's essentially what we're doing here. You can the prerequisite knowledge is that you know how to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. You can then narrate over those slides, or you can video your screen, and that's what we're doing here as well. Thirdly is the talking head, and that's simply on your laptop. We recommend that you elevate the laptop so that you're not looking down. Here's an example I prepared earlier. Now this is very rudimentary in my office. There are distractions in the background, and as you become more professional, you might like to eliminate those. Let's look at some issues around the flipped classroom, because if you are going to do that, you will come against some objections, and you may even have some yourself. Now obviously, if you have prepared all your resources, if you're now going to put them onto video, that is a whole lot of preparation. And so you do need to invest time into preparing the videos. Now you might find other partners in your faculty who are willing to do this with you, so you can share the workload and then share the resources. Also, you don't have to flip the whole of your course before you start. Just make a start, flip some lessons, and you can have a mix of traditional and flipped classrooms. Now technology is an issue. It may be an issue. You may not be what you call very high tech, but you will need to upskill somewhat. Now you don't need to upskill a whole lot, but you may need to upskill a little bit. So you do need to do something there, but that's okay. It'll be good, and it'll prove good for you. The motivation of students is important. You will find that some students will not want to look at the videos, or they may not look at the videos, and so you do need to promote the watching of the videos. Show them where to find them, show them a clip, tell them it's not negotiable. There is no excuses with that. You will be expected to watch the videos. I mean, for goodness sake, homework today it is 10 minutes watching a video. Could it get any easier than that? But you need to promote it, promote. Furthermore, to motivate students, you might like to award assessment marks, perhaps 5 or 10% of your term or your semester's assessment towards simply the watching of these videos prior to coming to class. You'll need to work out how you measure that. You could embed questions in the videos, and there are programs to do that. Edpuzzle, for example, is one that can do that. Furthermore, with students, you might like to also incorporate a rewards program. Classcraft, for example, is a rewards program, and I think it will work best if you work with several pedagogies at once. If all you do is provide videos of your classrooms, it may not work as best as you would like it. So you really do need to utilize several pedagogies to get the best out of the flipped classroom. You also need to consider that you're going to have at least 2 streams of differentiation, because you will expect that you'll have the majority of students who have watched the videos and can participate in discussion in class, and that's what you want. However, you also got to expect that there are some students who will not have watched the videos and can't really participate in the discussion in class. They could listen, however, they could also sit to the side and watch the videos over there. So you do need to consider at least 2 streams of differentiation within the classroom, those who have watched the videos and those who have not. So in summary, the flipped classroom, we have looked at some statistics as to the benefits of the flipped classroom. We have looked at other benefits of utilizing those videos that you will create for the flipped classroom. We have looked at 3 ways how to flip the classroom: the video lecture, the video PowerPoint, and the talking head. And we've looked at the issues and how to overcome the objections that you will encounter when flipping your classroom. Here are some references.